Good morning, good evening, whoever you are, wherever you are, whatever you might be doing. We wish to welcome you to the Silverlight Show. The silverlight shines to illuminate that which lies hidden in darkness. For those of you tuning in today, we welcome you in. There's a controversial bit of news over the past couple days. My city apparently decided they were going to start imposing massive fines for people that did not clear their driveways. Now, I admit it's important to clear your driveway. Uh, your mailman goes up and down it, and if that male person, not mailman, if that male person slips, it's on your house's insurance as well as on theirs. Um, my parents are older, and we all know somebody who's older, and it can be difficult for them to walk up and down the driveway with summer conditions, much less slipping and sliding on an unplowed driveway. As a matter of fact, I can see a few people that haven't plowed their driveway yet. So, of course, this touched off a firestorm on multimedia platforms. The problem is, when you actually read what the council said, town council, city council, whatever you want to call it, they're going after people that aren't shoveling their their walkways. Not the driveways, their walkways. Because I was wondering how they were pushing this through on people's private driveways. Well, they're not. There is a property boundary there, there's a property issue. And like I said, it's to your own good to do your driveway. But the walkways and the sidewalks, yeah, that's city property. You are going to wind up doing it whether you like it or not. And like I said, it's city property. I have seen the city shovel out the sidewalks, and I've always wondered why they make people do the ones on their own property. When we have a big snowfall around here, it's easily 24, 48 hours before they dig everything out. And one thing my dad taught me, a little bit of wisdom from senior Silverlight, was don't buy a house with a sidewalk. It encourages people to come by, it makes them nosy, it screws up your property line, and you have to shovel the darn thing. So after all is said and done, we who do not have sidewalks are not in any way threatened by this piece of, it's not even legislation, this bylaw. And they're just threatening to enforce it more than it already has. Great. Go ahead. Closest sidewalk to me is about a 3 to 4 minute walk, depending. And that's on the main road. Now, why are they so worried about sidewalks? Well, again, a sidewalk is city property that you're responsible for. It's kind of like one of the horror stories from the HOA. I really doubt the various law enforcement agencies, the police, the people who clean up and everything are going to be ticketing unless you've done something crazy like not shoveled your sidewalk at all year while your neighbors all have. Then, yeah, go after these people. I know which area of town is probably responsible for this piece of legislation, and it sure isn't my area. But yeah, it's not so much a flex by the government, it's just reminding people we live in a cold climate. There's snow everywhere right now. I was thinking about going for a walk, but minus 18 on a bright day, forget it. One of the secrets of cold weather is you want cloudy days. It keeps the heat in. When the air is bright and clean, that's all your heat radiating right out. You still do get a little bit of heat from the ground, but it's not enough to melt most things unless you physically go out and shovel it first. or throw handfuls of salt and sand and all that sort of stuff down on it. I sometimes wonder why our ancestors came here. Now, in the 21st century, it makes sense. You step into your house, you turn up the heat, you got a nice place to live. Back in those days, they had to spend all summer pretty much preparing for 6 months of winter. It's not very nice in colonial times to have people chopping wood, chopping wood, chopping wood, and somehow figuring out how to get food. And as somebody who's chopped a fair bit of wood myself, yeah, it's not a fun thing to do. Hell of a workout. You'll put some biceps on. I have a wood burning appliance in the house, and the only reason I have it is we have some old growth trees. And when they drop crap down, I collect it up, put it in a bin, wait for a year for it to dry out, and we'll put some marshmallows. I put steaks on there. Whatever the heck we feel like. It's a hell of a lot cheaper than the propane barbecue right beside it, because everything you put in there is free. But like I said, even 150 years ago, it's an entirely different world up here. The government could have told you to shovel your sidewalk, but there were no sidewalks. Nobody was thinking about putting in a public access. So you might call this a tax on convenience. The government was the one who established those sidewalks, and now they're making you do the physical labor in making sure they're clear. They've got so many walkways around here. We're next to one of the major parks, and there's paths all through it. It would probably take a good day, even when you're on one of those little machines, to shovel it out. They're just asking us to do it because, well, traditionally, they didn't have any way to get into all these nooks and crannies. Nowadays, they have those small snow machines that can go around, but it's still a salary. You got to pay somebody to go around, and I don't know how many streets have sidewalks off the top of my head. Let's just say half of the streets have sidewalks, so you're still looking about 10,000 streets to be plowed in a relatively short period of time. Apparently, we're expecting snow tomorrow. The world has changed. They know that we won't accept taxes, but most people are willing to shovel their sidewalks. There are exceptions, like the elderly. Okay, yeah, I don't want you shoveling a sidewalk if, that's going to be the last thing you do in your life. It is a lot of work. They say one of the biggest causes of heart attacks up here is shoveling snow. And the snow we've had this year is nothing compared to some of the stuff that we usually get. But I admit I was feeling pretty winded after being out in the cold and the shoveling snow, and not the best thing for me in the world. But who else is going to do it? And in 15 years, who else is going to do it? It's never going to change in my life unless I hire some local kid. We'll have to figure that out. But that's for my personal driveway. A sidewalk too? Ugh. Very glad I don't have that inconvenience in my life, especially when the city is enforcing stuff like that. So don't worry about where you live. Yeah, some places are upscale, some places are downscale, but remember, it's all about what you choose. And I fortunately chose a place with no sidewalks. And despite the uproar the media has caused by not being able to tell the difference between a driveway and a sidewalk, makes no difference ultimately. With that, we hope you enjoyed this chilly episode of the Silverlight Show. If you did, please like, share. Don't forget to click the subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you have the chance, click the bell icon down below so that way you can get notified every time we have a show. And we hope you have a fantastic day.